Hi all, welcome to this video. This video is in support of the auction that I have on eBay for this device, which is a Numark iDJ2. I bought it off eBay. If you look through my history, only a week or so ago I bought it to do a private party for a very good friend of mine. I had to go abroad, so this was the perfect thing to take with me. It's fitted in the aircraft hold, no problems at all, absolutely no issues with transporting it. But I'm not a party DJ, I'm a club DJ, so really it doesn't have any use for me, so that's why I'm going to move it on. Included in the auction is the device itself, the flight case, the pull-out keyboard, which is the original device for this, or the original keyboard for this device. There's also the original Numark memory stick, which I haven't used, but it does contain some software. Some software will be sent with the device on a CD, which is the latest update. It has the latest firmware on, and I'll also include the latest version of Librarian, which is also downloadable from the Numark website. The device itself then is basically a media player. So you have on one side, just bear with me a second to turn the volume down, you have on one side controls for deck A, and the other side controls for deck B, crossfader, volume controls, a beat keeper, play stutter, pause and cue. We have a jog wheel which operates in jog, scratch and search modes depending on the selection made. We have a pitch slider, a tap button for manually altering the BPMs in case there's an issue with the Librarian software. I'm just going to put that down the back. We have an eject button to eject our media. Like any computer, you eject your USB or you eject your iDevice prior to shutting down or removing it. We have a selection for internal use or a line-in use, so we can use this as a mixer. Obviously the jog wheel doesn't operate in that sense, it's just a pure mixer on line-in mode, and it'll accept CDJs and phono. 3-band EQ, gain. It's the same on the right hand side. We've got in the centre the screen, the interactive elements. We've got buttons to select our library, our crate, the view options, the utility, and then the buttons underneath the screen are relative to options that are available at the bottom of the screen itself depending on which mode you're in. On the front of the unit we have a 1/4 inch mic input, we have a mic gain, tone control for the mic, an on-off switch for the mic, and a crossfader slope. On the other side of the front we have a cue mix, so we can listen to one deck or the other deck or mix the two together in our headphones. And the cue mode we can pre-fade or we can master listen. We've got a cue tone and a cue gain, and the two inputs or the two connections for headphones are a 3.5mm or a 1/4 inch, whichever you happen to have. On the back of the unit we've got a power supply, we've got two USB ports, we've got RCA phono connections for our line-in source, we've got a Kensington lock, we've got selector switches for determining whether we're using a phono or a CD line source or just a line-in source. The connections on this side, we've got record out, which are RCA phono connections, we've got master out, which is what I'm using here, and we've also got XLR master out, which is a balanced output, so you can plug directly into a Pro amp. The iPod dock itself, best iPod that works for this is the 5th generation Classics. As I say, I have included a link to the Numark site which details all of the iPods that are applicable with this device and the functionality you can expect to achieve. Now I'm not supplying an iDevice with this, okay, so you will need to supply your own. Now I do have an iPhone, but the iPhone is not compatible with the full range of features that this can offer when using an iDevice. It's because this device came out before the iPhone. It will allow you to play it in direct mode, in other words just use this as a mixing control or a playback control unit for whatever's on your iPod or iPhone. But one thing it will do, although it's not compatible, it will still charge your device. Okay, you'll get the message not optimized. Okay, so it does charge it, which is quite a handy little thing, unless you're using it for your iPod. In the main though, and speaking to Numark directly, a lot of people use the USB devices because A, you can get much more storage for a lot less money. Other things about this is the Librarian software. The Librarian software is a piece of software that you install on your computer or laptop, and you use it to analyse the tracks. You can get the device to do that for you, but it is not as quick as using your laptop or computer. I have an i5 processor-based laptop, and it scans the tracks and gets all the data very quickly. What the librarian software will do is it creates a search database, it creates a waveform output. I'll show you the waveform. It's only a simple waveform output. It shows you the phrases within the song, and it also calculates the BPM and such like. You would use that on your laptop, so you transfer your tracks to your USB device or your iDevice, run the librarian software on that device, or from your computer to that device, and then it will build all the tables and everything else. That will then allow you to have the waveform output, the BPMs pre-calculated, and also use the search function, and you can use the keyboard for searching. So let's have a quick look at what we've got going on here. If we go to the library, we can have a look, we can search, and we're going to use this little jog wheel here, or jog knob, just so we can move up and down the items in here. We can search, we've got track, album, artist, genre, BPM, year, playlist and files. We can create playlists within here. We've also got a crate feature as well. The crate feature allows you to store tracks from, or it doesn't store the tracks, but it stores references to them. So in other words, you can put tracks from your device into the crate, like we used to do with vinyl. So you flip them up so that you know the next tracks you're going to be playing. It's a handy little feature, and it will also, if you've got tracks in your crate, you can then use the auto mix function, which will allow you to either continuously play through that crate listing from start to finish and stop, or cycle through so it gets to the end and starts again. Other features we have are view button. Now the view button has two features. First of all, it will give you track information, or it will give you the waveform. We can select or deselect these waveforms. If we've selected a waveform, we can use a little jog wheel, and by moving it, it will go to the next phrase, the start of the next phrase in the song. Okay. If deselected, this has no effect. You have to select which waveform you want to be acting on. And we've got a utility button. The utility button has copying, updates, restore, display, calibration, demo, and the licenses that are applicable to it. Also on the screen we've got the state that the deck is in, and it's currently paused on both. The BPM percentage is at 0 because we're at neutral BPM. The BPM of the track, we've got the key lock activated, and the running time of the track. The small blue line, or the blue line that runs underneath, is where the playhead is within the track. Okay, if I skip that along, you might not see this on the video, but you can see there's a black, the blue gets replaced by black to show you where it is within the track. If I just go back to the beginning of that track, go into profile view. Right, have a quick listen to some music. Okay, so we're going to press play. Okay, the VU meters operate in two modes. We've got, that's the pre-fader level. Now it's only operating on that VU meter at the moment because I've only got this deck playing. Now if I push the master, turn it up. Okay, you can see the VU meter operating on both those decks now. The jog wheel operates in several different ways, 3 different ways primarily. We've got jog, so we can slow down or speed the track up. We can operate in scratch mode, and we can operate in search mode for quickly accessing certain points in the track. Okay. We've also got loop in, loop out and reloop. So loop in, loop out and reloop. Okay. Other controls, transport controls, we've got play, stutter, typically Numark. Pause. Pressing and holding the pause button returns the track to the back to the beginning of the song. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just skip through to there. Just skipped it through to a phase way down the track, because the cue button will return you to the cue point. The cue point on Numark devices is set so you press play, and what it's basically going to do is when I press play, at that point, if I press Q, it uses that as the cue point. You can set hot cues using the loop in and loop out buttons. The PDF document, which is the instructions for this, does detail that in a bit more. The lights in the middle are the beatkeeper lights. So we've got downbeat, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When the blue light is in the middle, it's indicating that both tracks are in phase and in beat. Okay? Now, these aren't actually matched because I haven't adjusted the pitch slider to match the BPM. It says 128, 128, so if we just do that. Okay. Simple as that. We've got EQ controls as I mentioned, so kill and boost. Okay, it's an infinite kill, so it kills it completely, and it's a 12 dB boost. We've got -10 to +10 dB on the gain, and we've got the tap buttons. The tap buttons are just to correct any minor issues that you might have in BPM calculations. So if you think, oh, that's not quite right, you can use the tap button, and it allows the beatkeeper to get back into sync and work itself out. So that's basically the unit. It has a fader start as well, and crossfader if you want to use a fader start. As I said, with the crate system you've got this continual playback. But if you want to actually search for a song, okay, slide the keyboard out. So we'll select tracks from the keyboard. It's a quick link. So press that and let's just type in a track name that we've been asked for. Okay, now I've spelt that incorrectly. Okay, and there we have the track I was looking for. I can then select that, I can send that to the non-playing deck. Okay, see how quickly it loads up. Okay, and then when the time comes, into view. And now if we're not going to beat match these in, just going to play them. Okay, and that's the other track coming in. Let's say not beat match, just dropping in. These are just radio edits on this particular drive. Okay, but that does show the functionality of the keyboard. We can search by tracks, album, artist, genre, BPM, year, playlist and the files. Okay, we can search various different things, or we can go into them directly from the keyboard. Okay, so you don't have to use the little jog wheel. Now, we've done all that. Let's just pack it away. How easy is this thing to pack away? It's simplicity itself. Right, first of all, now because this isn't a connected device, it's only charging, I can just pull that out. But one thing I do need to do is eject the media. So I'm going to press eject, and it's saying, do I want to eject that particular device, which is a SanDisk Cruiser? I press yes, eject it. It's ejected it, there's no devices present. Pull the device out of the back, and then all we do is press and hold the power button until the red line goes down. You have to keep it held in until it does so, otherwise it won't shut down. It won't recognise as a shutdown command. There we go, device is now shut down. So we're going to pack away, so we're just going to unplug our headphones. Okay, we're going to unplug our audio connections, like so. We're going to unplug our power lead. Okay, there's a little hole in the back feeding your cables through. We'll just pack our power lead away, and we'll pop that in there. We'll put the plug, which is in here. There we go. We'll put that back in the back. Keep it all nice and neat. Okay, we've got our headphones. And we'll bob those in. Put those down the back. Okey-doke, like so. We're going to take our front panel. We're going to slide that into the front of the flight case. We're going to grab our lid, which is padded. Now the hinges are lift off, so you just need to locate them, like so. Fold over, put the latches down, and that's it. It's ready to rock. We're ready to put that in our car and get home. Obviously, if you're on a mobile, you'd need to disassemble your lighting and your audio system, but that's the actual device itself. Dead easy and job done. As I say, included in the auction is the flight case, the device, the keyboard, the power supply, the original Numark 128MB stick, and if somebody says buy it now, I'll include these PHX headphones, or If the bidding price achieves the same price as the buy it now, I'll include these headphones. If not, I'll keep them. You can use your own headphones. Alright then guys, that's all I wanted to go through really. Happy bidding. Take care. Bye.